There's a stigma around sport and male athletes that you have to act a certain way and be tough, but that's not always the case. We're normal, just like you. We have feelings too. Myself and Megan got together in 2011 and I proposed to her in 2015. She's my absolute rock and there's no one I'd rather be with, and we decided to try for a baby around 2015, 2016, and was ready for that next step, and we managed to fall pregnant, and we found out it was a little girl, went for all the scans and buying, you know, girls stuff and doing the room, and yeah, it was a very, very happy time in our lives. So it was a healthy pregnancy, you know, I was looking forward to everything, nothing got shown up on the scans, and I was ecstatic. It was a normal labour, routine labour, and I remember when Ada eventually got delivered, and it was the happiest feeling I've ever had. Words can't describe the feeling I had holding my baby girl who I've wanted for that long and who I've pined for, and I don't think I'll ever get a better feeling than them moments after. And Megan was fine and Ada was fine by the looks of it, and I've gone to training the next day, and I went home and I was with Megan's mum Rita, and I was putting the pram together and ready to pick Megan up and getting all the car seat ready and all set for Ada to come home, and then I got a phone call that, you know, not anyone could ever wish for, and my whole life changed at that point. The words Megan said to me, and she was crying and she was very upset on the phone, and I just remember saying, "You've got to come. A doctor's been and seen Ada, she's blue, and now she's in intensive care, and her heart wasn't working properly, and the next time I seen Ada was in intensive care, and she was wired up, she was in a glass tube, and I've gone from picking my daughter up and having this overwhelming feeling of joy and, you know, happiness to worrying about my daughter's life. And yeah, so the specialist come in and he explained that she might need to be transferred to Alder Hey. They think it's a heart problem. The cardiologist came around and explained that they think it's pulmonary stenosis, which means she's got a block in an artery what's pumping blood or oxygen around in the heart. And they said, you know, they need an operation just to put a balloon catheter in just to open it up and make sure everything's okay. And they said, you know, you've not got much to worry about, just stay positive. And one of the toughest things I'll ever have to do is put your daughter to sleep knowing that there's a risk of, you know, fatality. And luckily the operation went well and she got put into a high dependency unit again, and one of the nurses wasn't happy about sending her back to the ward, so she come back and she got rushed to theatre, and when they was doing the first operation, they pierced the wall of her heart and it caused a lot of bleeding, so then she got put into a coma, and she was in intensive care then, and she was getting better after a few days, and on Megan's birthday it worked out, you know, nice. For Megan's birthday she got put onto the ward, and gradually Ada's symptoms started getting better, and she started moving down. So in Alder Hey they do it though, if you're further up the ward you're less likely to be moving on, but as you creep down the ward it means you're getting close to the door, then you can come out. And Ada was getting close to the door, and we was under the impression, you know, we got told that she'd be home in a couple of days, and obviously, you know, we were ecstatic. And then as they'd weaned her off, symptoms started to worsen, and then, you know, we got the news that they didn't think it was stenosis. They thought it was pulmonary atresia, which means that an artery's blocked. So when they found out it was atresia, she needed to go in again, and she needed to have a stent in. I remember training that day, and it's mad really, because I remember Rich Agar was the coach at the time, and the lads knew and Rich knew, and I remember standing at the side of the pitch and Rich saying, you know, all the best for tomorrow, you know, I'm thinking about you, and I was just staying positive. I said, no, everything's going to be all right, I know it, like I knew it. And so she went in for the operation, and she got put back on high dependency unit, and everything had worked. Her levels, her oxygen levels, her saturation levels for her heart were perfect. And I remember the person saying it could have gone any better. It couldn't have gone any better. The nurse at the time, because they have like one-on-one care, said, "Oh, you know, I've had an easy day today. She's been perfect." And I just remember, and then we got told she'd be home like within a couple of days, and so we went to bed the following night. I remember a phone call I had in the middle of the night saying, "You better come. I think she's took a turn for the worse." And I remember going and I still in my head just trying to stay positive, just trying to think, you know, she'll be all right. She'll get through it. She's been through so much already and that. And as I've got there, I seen her and I heard loads of like trolleys and like things missing. I'm like, what's that noise? And like people shouting, and she was having a cardiac arrest in front of me, but so obviously we was upset and we didn't know what to do, and I just remember shouting and just trying to get someone to help her, just anything, just do something. And so she ended up having 2 cardiac arrests, and at the time they thought it was the best option just to put her on life support. And the next time I seen her was she was on like it was called ECMO, they call it. It's like a life support machine, and she was cut open from like her belly all the way to her chest, and I just I felt helpless. I just felt, you know, like I'm a dad and I should be protecting her, and I just felt there's nothing I could do, and that I was probably I just wanted to do more. I just wanted to, I wish it was me. We went back to the Ronald McDonald house that following night, and I was optimistic. I was staying positive, and I thought I'm going to be strong. I'm going to stay positive, and I know she'll be all right. You know, she's my little girl. I'll be strong for her. And Megan was on the same page, and Rita wasn't. Then we went to bed, and I'll never ever forget the phone call I had, and I just remember about 2 in the morning, the phone going, and I knew what it was. I knew what it was about, and the fella said, "You better come in." And I said, "Is everything all right?" And he just said, "I just think it's better if you come in." I knew that it was bad news when I got that phone call, you know. It was at the time I just felt like you could say not responsible, but I just felt like I wanted to do something so much. I just wanted to feel like I did everything I can, and I was just questioning it, because we were getting told that she's going home in a couple of days to, you know, have an operation and seeing her on life support, seeing her have a cardiac arrest in front of you, and I had to deal with it a certain way to be strong for Megan, but the way I was dealing with it, it wasn't the right thing to do for Megan. I've learned that, you know, in painful situations you can't run away from them. You can't seek different solutions, drink, drugs, wherever it may be, you know. you can't do it. You've got to look it right in the face and accept it for what it is. And I just wanted someone to just put their arm around me and just say, you know, Dom, everything's going to be okay. You know, just tell me, just everything's going to be all right. And I remember Jack coming in and he was crying, and I just remember him just giving me a hug. And I just remember just felt empty. I couldn't stand the thought of a piece of concrete over, and myself and Megan came up with a thing, and we called it a garden. I actually enjoy coming here to the grave and saying hello, and I talked to her about, you know, how my day's going and how much I miss her, and just generally catch up. You know, I speak to her as if she's there, and like she's always with me, and you know, I'll always have a daughter, and I'll always be here for my little girl. We went to the funeral parlour, and you get told that you can go and see him at the back when they're in the casket and stuff at the back, and it's probably the worst thing I've ever had to do, and it was like, I just wish I never did it, and she wasn't there anymore. And yeah, the day of the funeral, it was gut-wrenching. You know, I felt empty. We arrived, and I had to carry my girl down in a wooden box down the aisle, and people were there, friends and family, and we came around there just in front of where Ada was buried. And it's nothing a father or mother should never ever have to bury the child. And I don't say this lightly, and at the time I've never ever physically wanted to commit suicide, but at the time I remember speaking to Megan, and I was like, I understand why people do it. I didn't see any point in me being here anymore. Yeah, so I'm here at my current club, Leeds Rhinos, at Edinburgh Stadium, and back when Ada passed away in 2017, I was at Warrington Wolves, and Ada was still in the back of my mind, and the memories what I had from Warrington. It's no disrespect to the club or anything, but I had bad memories of what I had to go through, and I think Steve Price recognised that there was something up with me, and it was brilliant. And he said, you know, if you feel happier somewhere else, and you know, you think it's what you need for your mental health, and then he was very positive, and he said go for it. And as soon as I came to Leeds, and I knew it was the right decision, and I knew it was the right thing to do, and the boys welcomed me with open hands, and I thought I did well. Kev was up front with me and just said, you know, if you prove yourself, there's a deal on the table, but it's up to you. And I thought I was getting in some pretty good form, but I knew I had, you know, a couple of niggles at that back end of last year, and I did enough to earn a 3-year deal, and what was meant to be a routine operation on my ankle, and turned out to be pretty intense. I had 2 operations on my ankle, and then I've had 2 operations on my knee, and I've not managed to play this year. We found a home in Leeds, and we love it. And shortly after Ada passed away, 3 or 4 months it was, I think, off the top of my head, and it was Rita's birthday, or around the birthday, and Megan comes down with a pregnancy test, and I was shocked. I didn't know how to feel about it. She went it as a surprise, and my first feeling was fear. I was scared. I never ever want to experience that pain ever again, and I just wanted him to be healthy. And Megan goes into labour, and it's something, you know, I probably can't explain unless someone's been through the same situation. I was scared, and it was like I had my fingers crossed, and it was like 9 centimetres dilated, and then next thing everyone started rushing in saying, you're going to have to push, he's losing his breath. So obviously the feeling that we had, and Megan was like, you know, she was struggling, you know, an epidural never worked, and I just remember this nurse coming, you know, she got Megan and she looked her in the face and kind of shouted at her a bit, you know, you're going to have to push it, you can do it and you will do it. I couldn't really enjoy the moment even when he was born, because I knew what would have to happen next. I knew that he'd have to have all these tests and it'd have to be a day or so after that we'd have to check it, and we stopped in an extra night and we got the all clear, and I made sure they did it twice and checked everything over, and the best feeling I've ever had by holding Ada for the first time and was taking my son out of hospital, carrying him in the car seat, and just being able to take my son home and hold my son in my own arms, and you know, and I really felt everyone's happiness for us. Yeah, so little Oscar was born and all that happened, and it's been the best year of my life, and couldn't have got through the injury the way I have been going through the off-field stuff without Oscar. I'm truly grateful for that little boy, and he's a blessing in my life. He's my best mate. Ever since Ada's passed away, and I feel myself I've changed, and I just want to help people, and I googled StrongMen and it come up as a charity what helps people who's gone through mental health issues through bereavement, and so I clicked on it, and basically it's about people who suffer from mental health problems through bereavement and kept it in, and you know, not dealt with it the best way they could have. They provide support and they provide weekends, and they kind of link the mental health with the physical health, and it's just about having that kinship and knowing that people have been through what you've been through and felt them feelings you've felt, instead of being in a room and going, what's your story? You know, you don't necessarily have to talk about what you've been through and what your story is, but you've got that common thing of, you know, you've suffered through mental health, you've had depression, you've had anxiety, you've done things what you not necessarily do, but you've dealt with it in a better way. I was really honoured to be asked to be an ambassador of this charity, and it's something what really hits home and means a lot to me, and going through mental health myself, and not just through bereavement, in other things, and people not knowing my story and what I've been through, along with the injuries I've had on top of that, and that's been tough for me. You know, I was in a straight leg brace for 3 months, and no one's seen that side where I couldn't walk, or you know, people giving me stick on Twitter or whatever it may be, and family, you know, why are you always injured? You know, I've had to deal with that, and we're just normal people too. That the side where people don't see is the pressure we have, and we've got feelings, and we just want to play rugby and be the best we can. You know, no one expects to be injured or play bad on a Friday or Saturday, and that's why it's home for me. It's a great charity, and like I said before, it's run by great people, and I'm proud to be a part of it.